So if you're a beginner and you are looking for a video to solve your problems and you are actually having problems with layers, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about layers in Photoshop and how you can work with them as a beginner. This video, I want to tell you that this video is a part of a Photoshop course that I'm making on my channel. Depending on your questions, you can ask me on Facebook, you can ask me on the comments below here or anywhere. You can actually go on my new website. I made a new website. You can go click on contact, type in anything you want to ask me. It will be sent to me as an email, and yeah, it's going to be helpful for you. So also, before we start, I have a color psychology guide that you guys that you have to download, because it will help you as a beginner and also as an expert to help you get more leads and to help you know what actually colors that you have to use to attract certain people and certain clients into your amazing designs. The question I want to ask you before we start is, did you subscribe? Yes, you gotta subscribe and turn on the bell. Make sure the bell notification is on all. So after you click on the bell, it's not gonna be, you'll see like three things, like all or personalized or whatever. Just make it all so you can get all the notifications for me when I upload any new videos. And also join my Facebook group if you have any questions, or if you wanna join my community in Facebook. It's gonna help you a lot. A lot of people are asking me a lot of things. You can actually interact with people in my community, and yeah, let's start. So once you are on your computer, just go to Photoshop here, and then I will show you how to work with layers. So as you guys can see, we have this first layer, which is the background layer, and this material 1 layer, which is this layer, and material 2 layer, which is this one, and terrain, which is the last layer, as you guys can see. So layers, actually knowing layers as a beginner will help you a lot. So as you guys can see, that terrain is the top layer, and it's also the top layer on here. You can actually move layers by going to the move tool and move it. You must make sure that your cursor, or you already selected this layer. So for example, if I choose this layer and I want to move this will not happen, because this is because I've selected the material 2 layer. And the same thing, if you go to the material 1 layer and you try to move this, it's not going to move because you have selected this layer. Okay, so in order to move one layer on top of another one, it's very simple. As you guys can see, I have material 1, which is the lowest layer here, and also we have the background layer, which is the far layer behind all these layers. As you guys can see, this is the background layer. And above it, we have this one, and above this one, we have another one, as you guys can see, and we have the terrain one above all of these layers. So how to move this is simply, as you guys can see, the layers on order. The one below this one is already below it in the layer. As you guys can see, you can just move it upwards by clicking and dragging upwards like this. And as you guys can see, it goes up, and you can also even move it up to the top like this until it goes above them all, as you guys can see. Okay, we can also do the same thing by clicking, by pressing Ctrl and the close bracket to move it up automatically. As you guys can see, you can do it the same thing, and you can also move it to the top at once by clicking Shift, by pressing Shift, Control and closing bracket, and it will automatically go to the top, as you guys can see. And we can do the same thing by holding Control, Shift and open bracket, and it will go right down to the bottom. So as you guys can see, it is very simple and easy. If you want to hide one of these layers, it's very simple. You're just going to go here on the eye icon and simply just click on the layer you want to hide. You can also hide multiple layers by clicking and dragging to the bottom, and it will automatically hide these layers. And as you guys can see, if you hide all the layers you have, what you will see is a transparent area, and this is how Photoshop defines transparent areas, by having these small gray and white blocks. If you want to show them again, very simple, just click and drag up and it will show all the layers that you have. Okay. If I want to move the train to the bottom, as we said, we have two ways. The first one is pressing Shift, Control, and open bracket, and it will just send it to the bottom immediately. Or you can just click and drag and put it right down here, as you guys can see. You can also hide layers by going to Layer and go right there and click on Hide Layers. It will simply hide the layer, and you can actually show it again by going to clicking on the eye, as you guys can see. You can also color the layer in order to make it distinctive. If you want to make some let's say this layer you want to make some work later on it, so you want to make it a little bit having like a color here so you can actually remember this layer exactly. So it's very easy. You can just go right click on this eye, you go to this eye and right click and make it red. So as you guys can see, it will look like it's having a red square on it, so it's kind of distinctive from all the other areas, as you guys can see. Another thing you can do is, if you want to only show one layer in your canvas, you can just go simply on one of the layers. For example, we're going to go to the train layer and we're going to press Alt on your keyboard and click on the eye button, and it will hide all the layers except for the one that we have clicked on, as you guys can see. If you want to go back, do the same thing, Alt and click on the eye, and everything will show back up again. Okay, let's say you want to auto select one of these layers. It's very simple. There are many options to do this. Instead of just going to select this layer and moving it on like this, and it's kind of boring for some people, you can actually go here on top here and click on auto select, and it will automatically select the layer that you have your cursor moving on, as you guys can see. But for big projects, this is not going to work. It will sometimes mess up your work or select other layers that you don't actually want it to select for you. So I recommend turning this off the whole time if you want. And simply, if I just want to go to one of these layers, I just right click and I click on the layer that I want to. As you guys can see, it shows Metro 2, which is the layer that I want to move, and it's as simple as that. Another thing you can do, if you want to auto select immediately without just going here, checking up auto select and then go to other stuff, you can, as you guys can see, it's very easy. You can just press on Control on your keyboard and it will automatically select the one that you have. As you guys can see, it shows that you're going to select another layer. If I want to select the background layer, as you guys can see, it will just be as this is going to be easy. So another thing I want to mention is that this background area is not going to be moved because, as you guys can see, it says could not use the move tool because no layers are selected. Okay, if you select even the background layer, it's not going to move because the layer is locked. Background layers you cannot delete. Let's see, if you want to delete, you cannot actually delete. You can only fill, but you are not able to delete anything from the background layer because it's already a background layer. If you delete it, nothing will be behind it. It's going to be transparent. So in Photoshop, you can't delete or you can't move a background layer. So let's say you want to do that. It's pretty simple. You can just go and click on this lock, and then it transferred this layer from a background layer to a normal layer, and now you can actually delete and even move it any way you want. Okay, so if it says background, then you cannot do anything about it. Another thing I wanted to say here, that if you are using Photoshop CS6 or any other older versions, you will have to double click on the layer, and as you guys can see, it says new layer, and you kind of press OK and it will turn it to a normal layer. If you are on CC like me, you're just gonna press on this block, and it's going to be transferred immediately into a normal layer. Now another thing you can do is you can also you can actually auto select multiple layers at the same time by using this. We're going to just press Control and select. You have to select first the first layer that you want to move, and then you're gonna hold Control and Shift together and start choosing these layers. As you guys can see, if you look right here on the layers tab, you will see that it selects once my selection moves right into the picture here. And we can actually go this. Notice if I go to the train upwards here, it also selects the train layer. As you guys can see, it's very simple. So yeah, you can also auto select multiple layers. It's very easy. All you have to do is just press Control, pick up the first layer, and then hold Control and just keep holding Control and hold Shift and start also selecting other layers. As you guys can see here, we have selected the 3 layers. You can also take away the layers that you want from the selection. If you go, as you guys can see, I'm still holding Control and Shift, and you just click the layer that you don't want to have in the selection. As you guys can see here, I can also go to the train. Just notice when I click it, I still have Control and Shift buttons, both of them held. And as you guys can see, once I click, I can also add to the selection or move away or take away from the selection, as you guys can see. So make sure to practice this. It's going to help you a lot in your designs. Just practice moving on layers behind ones like that, or moving it to the top. You can also practice selecting layers with using multiple ways. As you guys can see, just moving layers, as you guys can see, just apply what you have learned in this video, because designers that do not apply anything aren't designers, because they don't apply what they learn. And you cannot expect a high being professional. You cannot expect being professional from just watching videos. You have to apply these tutorials that, I know I'm not the only person on YouTube that's doing these tutorials, but you have to apply them in order to get some more results as a beginner. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.
Thank you.